Hello, I'm Atujama and you're watching Hornbill TV's Prime at 9. Now, news in details. The Nagaland In-Service Doctors Association said it will go ahead with mass casual leave with indefinite agitation if the government fails to take decision before April 18. The deadline given by the NIDA to the authorities to fulfill its demand expires on April 17. The NIDA has been demanding for increase in superannuation age from 60 to 62 years. Addressing the media at the press conference media today at the association's office in Kohima, the NIDA President Dr. E. Pyang Suthang stated that the origin of the NIDA's demand can be traced back to the announcement made by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi on May 26, 2016. At Saharanpur in UP, stating the retirement age for all government medical doctors across the country would be raised to 65 years due to acute shortage of medical doctors and to retain the services of experienced doctors for a longer period. Following this, the NIDA has submitted series of and consultation between the government at various levels of an NIDA but did not yield any result. NIDA also informed the public that emergency services will remain functional during the 3 days mass casual leave. Therefore, it appealed for cooperation and moral support to their demands. In case of any untoward eventualities, the government will have to bear the responsibility or can shift the blame to those it claims are opposing NIDA's demands. It was informed.
The NIDA has been regularly reminding the government, and 4 reminders were submitted in written to the government that time was running out. To the credit of the government, the issue has been taken up at least 4 times in the cabinet, but decision has not been taken. The NIDA, left with little option, decided to go for mass casual leave from the 7th to 9th March 2022. However, an appeal was received from the Honorable Minister of Health and Family Welfare on the 5th of March to keep the proposed agitation on hold and assured to the NIDA that he will, quote, his best efforts, he will give his best efforts to ensure that the state government address the matter on urgency, unquote. The NIDA, heeding the appeal of the Honorable Minister, decided to keep in abeyance the proposed 7 to 9 March mass casual leave. To the general public, we would like to inform that emergency services will remain functional during this 3-day mass casual leave. We therefore appeal for cooperation and moral support to our legitimate demands. Sacrifices made during the COVID pandemic by the medical fraternity should not be so easily forgotten, particularly since the pandemic is far from over. Finally, no organization wishes to go on agitation mode or any confrontation with the government, least of all the NIDA. We hope that the government takes a favorable decision in the next 4 days, but if no decision is arrived at before 18th April, the mass casual leave will go ahead, and in case of any untoward eventualities, the government will have to bear the responsibility or can shift the blame to those it claims to be.
Meanwhile, Chief Secretary J. Alam has issued directions for non-approval of casual leaves from April 18 to 20 for NIDA members' participation in agitation in pursuance of its demands for increase in superannuation age from 60 to 62 years. Extensive deliberations have been held by the government with NIDA and other stakeholders, and the matter has also been considered by the government at the highest level. And on account of the fact that there was lack of consensus on either of the alternative options amongst NIDA and other stakeholders, further deliberations have been directed to be held. Principal Director at Health and Family Welfare have also been asked to direct all CMOs, MSs, controlling officers in district, sub-district, hospital level not to approve casual leave of any officer during the period of 18 to 20 April, and if already granted, to revoke the same. Any resort to illegal means of agitation shall be viewed seriously, and besides deduction of salary on the principle of no work, no pay, participants shall also be liable to disciplinary action for grave violation of conduct rules. In addition, the participants in the strike or agitation would also be liable for appropriate action under provisions of the law, it stated. The Chief Secretary also directed that the Deputy Commissioners of the respective districts shall also ensure that the Chief Medical Officers and the Medical Superintendents and their subordinate officers follow the directions. The Zeniboto Range Students Union has concluded its first phase of education tour within Zeniboto area and Zeniboto town for 3 consecutive weeks, covering 34 government schools which included GPS, GMS and GHS. The tour was initiated on a mission to eradicate proxy teaching and to examine the overall growth and development of government schools. During the tour, the union said that schools were found to be in pathetic conditions and in a sorry state. ZRSU President Kihoka Jimomi, while speaking to HornbillTV, said there are many factors involved in the degradation of government schools and less enrollment. He said that 4 main factors contributing to the poor performance of government schools are proxy teaching and irregularities of teachers, random transfer of teachers in the middle of the academic session, lack of infrastructure and subject teachers.
Has concluded our first phase of education tour for 3 consecutive weeks. The tour was initiated on a mission to eradicate proxy teaching and to examine the overall growth and development of government schools within the Zeniboto area and Zeniboto town. During our tour, the schools were found to be in a very pathetic condition and in a very sorry state. There are so many factors involved in the degradation and in the decrease of the number of students, but 4 main important factors were identified by the union. The first point being proxy teaching and irregularities of the concerned teachers, lack of proper infrastructure. Third, random transfer of teachers, especially in the middle of the academic session. And the fourth point is lack of subject teachers. So in this regard, the union have sent out a strong notice to all the teachers, all the erring teachers who have been giving proxy teacher on their behalf, and the irregular teachers to join their duty with immediate effect. And if the teachers fail to join their duty within the stipulated time, the union would be taking further course of action against them. We would also like to strongly appeal to the government to give strong emphasis and give significant emphasis on the infrastructure of the government school, because this is the direct reason why the government schools are degrading, lack of proper infrastructure. And we'd also like to appeal to the concerned department and the government to stop the practice of random transferring of teachers, especially in the middle of the academic session, and to stop the culture of the so-called attachment, keeping some teachers in attachment with legislators, officers, bureaucrats, and in some offices, because this practice very much degrades the morale of other sincere and dedicated teachers.
The President also informed that the union has sent out individual notice to all the erring and irregular teachers to join their duty with immediate effect, failure for which the union shall be prompted to take further course of action against them. The ZRSU also appealed to the government and the concerned department to give emphasis on infrastructure of government schools. The ZRSU also demanded that unethical culture of the so-called attachment of some teachers with legislators, bureaucrats, officers and in some offices be stopped, and random transfer of teachers. The union, while expressing anguish over the irregularities and non-presence of officers in the office, appealed to the DEO and SDEO officers to function more effectively and systematically and to oversee the development of the schools under its jurisdiction. Further, the ZRSU appealed to all the GBs, SMCs and village leaders to play an important role in shaping the education system at the village level.
The union would also like to entreat upon the government to release the salaries of the teachers, the pending salaries of the teachers, because the teachers have not been getting salaries for quite a long period of time, and would like to appeal to the government to release the salaries of the teachers, to pay the salaries of the teachers on time in order to let the teachers function the duty effectively and to relieve them from further inconveniences and grievances. Having not been satisfied with the functioning of the SDO and DO offices in Zimto town, the union would like to appeal to the concerned officers to function more effectively and systematically. We are very much astonished and anguished over the non-presence and irregularities of the officers in the department. So we'd like to send out a strong message to all the concerned officers to join the duty with immediate effect and to function and to oversee the schools functioning under its jurisdiction. We'd also like to appeal to the department to make sure that the funds and materials meant for the government schools are dispersed appropriately without any misappropriation. And any misappropriation and siphoning of funds and materials for individual benefits shall not be tolerated and acceptable by the union.
Review meeting for the state-level community health officers was held today at Capital Convention Center in Kohima. During the meeting, State Immunization Officer Dr. Ritu Thur said that Nagaland has low status for COVID vaccination and therefore encourage all the CHOs to continue to carry out the activities and provide the services to the community. Dr. Ritu, who also said that as per scored in Sustainable Development Goals and Niti Aayog, state has scored only 34% for the year 2018 to 2019 in family integrated care and 54% in the year 2019 to 2020, for which he also reminded that for the year 2022 to 2023, the targeted goal is to reach 85% of FIC and therefore requested the CHOs to give their best to achieve the targeted goals. He also encouraged all the CHOs to reach out and to keep tracking the pregnant women and infant age group in their respective centers.
Since 2019, we have been telling all the district officers to conduct head count, especially pregnant women and infant. Under RCH, we're asked to keep on tracking the pregnant women and under 1 age. And this is our job. We're not asked to follow the mother. We are asked to follow the pregnant woman, not the father. So I would like to request all the CHO kindly enter the pregnant women and under 1 age under your respective jurisdiction and keep on tracking on the pregnant women and under 1 age group. So my sincere appeal to all CHOs is this year, 2022-23, we have committed to GOI that will reach 85% of our FIC.
State Program Officer of NVBDCP, Dr. Nisa Kokere, said that Nagaland is on the top contender in the northeast state in eliminating the malaria disease. Kere said, till last year, state has recorded only 8 malaria cases, and for which Nagaland state had rapidly decreasing malaria cases and is on the verge of eliminating malaria in the state. Kerry also urged all the CHOs to put their efforts in their respective community health care centers and sub-centers. During the meeting, State Program Officer HWC Yepiego RK Pearson also presented on the impact of service delivery and at Health and Wellness Center in Nagaland. At the review meeting, Mon District has been awarded the best performing district based on the presentation. Altogether, 11 district CHOs presented their presentations. State-level celebration of Ayushman Bharat Health and Wellness Center Divas felicitation program was held today at the Capital Convention Center in Kohima. Speaking at the program, Mission Director NHM Dr. Thurusia Katiri said that Nagaland has completed 4 years of implementation of Ayushman Bharat Health and Wellness Centers. He said that the success of the ambitious program was possible by community health officers who lead the primary healthcare team at the HWCs by bringing quality care closer to people's homes. Dr. Katiri said that CHOs are a vital cater of healthcare workforce to bring quality, affordable and accessible healthcare right at the doorstep of the communities. He also informed that the program is being supported by the Nishta from USAID Indian Mission in nurturing the cadre and hand-holding the CHOs to become a pillar to SCHCs. Nishta has been supporting in various digital interventions like Naga Telehealth, Teletrack, Eileen, he added.
From USAID, India Mission, in nurturing this cadre and hand-holding of our community health officers to become a pillar to SSC, HSC, NISTA from USA funding has been supporting us since the beginning of Ayushman Bharat Health Wellness Center initiative. NISTA has been supporting us in various digital interventions like Naga Telehealth, Teletracks, Lean, and also supported various COVID initiatives. I would like to thank our co-partner, USA NISTA Jabaiko, for their support and helping us building a strong and resilient health workforce.
Director Health Office USAID Sangeeta Patel said that the certificates represent the hard work and dedication over the past several years amidst the COVID-19 pandemic and even beyond. She said with Ayushman Bharat, the community healthcare system will continue to improve and people will avail better healthcare system. Also speaking at the program, Joint Secretary of Health and Family Welfare Ajit Ranjan expressed his appreciation to all the healthcare workers for rendering the tremendous services and leadership skills. He also reminded the CHOs to be the healthcare service providers and community mobilizer to deliver health services.
Of course, as a health service provider, but also as a community mobilizer. As a community mobilizer, you are the closest to the villages, closest to the people. You can inspire and you can deliver the services. Empowerment at the local level, lack of autonomy in terms of finance at local level. And you see with the 15th Finance Commission, which has given local body grants, since CHOs here also lead the communitization initiative at the village levels. You are going to play an important role in utilization of these grants for diagnostics, for medicines, and for other purposes.
The hard work and culmination of dedication over the past several months and year in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic and even beyond. I think I have to take a pause and truly appreciate that in such tremendous, difficult circumstances in the most remotest regions where sometimes there's not even running water or even support.
During the program, Wash Learning Resource Package, Poster and iLearn Module and FP Family Planning, Poster and FP Corner for HWCs was also released, while 12 Best Performing CHOs for 2021 to 2022 was also awarded in the program. Karnataka Minister K.S. Ishwarappa, who is facing charges of abetment to suicide in connection with the death of a civil contractor in Udupi on Thursday, announced that he will step down from his position. The development comes soon after CM Boma ruled out any action against the minister, against whom police have booked a case of abetting the suicide of a contractor Santosh Patel until a preliminary inquiry is completed. Earlier today, Boma had said that Santosh Patel's suicide case will be thoroughly investigated and the truth will come out, and only based on the preliminary inquiry the government will decide on taking action against Ishwarappa. Santosh Patel, a Belagavi-based contractor, was found dead in an Udupi hotel on Tuesday, weeks after accusing Ishwarappa, who is also a senior PJP leader, of corruption. In a purported suicide note in the form of a WhatsApp message, Patel has blamed Ishwarappa for his death. Based on a complaint filed by Patel's relative, Udupi town police have booked Ishwarappa for abetting the suicide. After a gap of 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the people of Assam are celebrating the state's biggest festival, Rangali Bihu, also known as Bohag Bihu, with enthusiasm. Assamese people observe the first day of Rangali Bihu, also known as Goru Bihu, with traditional fervor. The week-long Bihu celebrations in Assam start with Goru Bihu, dedicated to livestock. On the first day of Rangali Bihu, the cattle are washed, smeared with a paste of fresh turmeric, black lentil, while people sing to them and worship the cattle. Many Bihu celebration committees in Guwahati and other parts of the state have organized week-long Rangali Bihu programs.
Today, we Assamese people are celebrating Bohag Bihu. This is the time where we come together and we celebrate our spirit, our tradition and our culture. I want to convey my Bihu greetings to entire fellow citizens of this country and welcome everyone to visit Assam and to see our tradition, our culture and the vitality of our festival.
In a major breakthrough, the crime branch of Meghalaya police has arrested the founder of the anonymous group Lawe Ba Painai, which has been issuing terror threats to the state government besides detaining 2 other individuals. However, close to 24 hours since the arrest, the Meghalaya government is yet to reveal the identity of the arrested and detained persons. Meghalaya Home Minister La Kem Rimpoi informed that the mystery man behind the terror threats is a resident of Shillong. Rimpoi added that the police are trying to find out whether more people are involved with the group. The Lawe Ba Painai, which created sensation by threatening to bomb educational institutions in Shillong starting the first week of May, had also demanded the release of ex-HNLC leader and former MLA Julius Torbang. In the last email, the anonymous group had warned that if Torbang was not released immediately, it would blow up a primary school. Earlier, the anonymous terror group had threatened to bomb the office of the Meghalaya Board of School Education, besides the St. Anthony's School and College in Shillong and even the Northeastern Hill University. That's all we have for now. Keep watching Hornbill TV.